Welcome back to another episode of the GODSUccess Teach and Pray. Our leader of the week's topic today will be colorism in the Bible. Our Bible verses is Genesis 2:9-14. Verse 13 says, "And it winds through the entire land of Cush." Did you know in the Hebrew language, Cush is the word which describes Ethiopia? I am excited to learn that the Holy Bible has its translations done by Europeans for thousands of years and still maintains the origin in Africa. Are you aware of Africa and colorism in the Bible? Are you open to learn now with an open mind? This is yours truly, MC and engineer, His Excellency Dakar, Director of GODSU Chaplaincy Program, and CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools, an international and graphic printing company providing you with all your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. Our popular products are GODSU African American Bibles, magazines, banners, flyers, branded golf shirts, and jackets. Without any further ado, the Right Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks JD, Chaplain, please take us away.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and privilege to be here with you all this morning. What a wonderful weekend. We celebrated the 58th birthday of Dr. Willis, and we are so pleased to have him in great health and great spirits and one with the Lord. So that is wonderful to have him. So this morning, I just want to ask, dear Heavenly Father, as you take us through this brief prayer, that you settle our minds, you open our heart, and let us realize that some of the things that you're going to be revealing to us, things that over, not understood, not seen ourselves, each of us in history, your multicultural Bible, your multicultural description of exactly how we should be, that all of us are included. Every last one of us are included, and that we find ourselves in there, we know our history. We ask all these things in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, so today we're going to be going through the Bible is Black History. It is a book done by Dr. Thoron D. Williams, and it is one of the textbooks that we use here in our courses for Global Oved Day, Seminary and University, Global Bible Institute. And you may ask yourself, why is it important that I understand the history of the Bible? Why don't I just be the way that my pastor has taught me to be, which is to, whatever he says, I repeat. Whatever he says, I repeat. I don't research. I don't learn for myself. Basically, just move in blind faith because the pastor said so. Why isn't it good to do that? Well, that's because each of us have a personal relationship with God. That's right, each of us. And each of us have a responsibility to study so that we will be approved and not depend on someone else. That's lazy. Yeah, I said it. That is lazy. To just be born and you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and you're saying, just repeating what the pastor says, as opposed to learning for yourself. And many pastors, they're repeating what the pastor before said. So what happens is that, I don't know if you've ever played telephone, where by the time you start and the time you get to the 10th person, the story is completely changed. So we have the Bible. That's there. So why don't we go into it? And when we go into it, why don't we look at the historical context, the scientific evidence that goes along with it, so we can use our minds, yes, our God-given minds that God has given us to use, and the ability to read, which he's given us. Why don't we use those tools so we can understand and get closer to God? So Here in Genesis 2:9-14, and I'm reading again from the Bible's Black History, page 32, it says, the name of the second river is the Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush, or the entire land of Ethiopia. Later in the book of Genesis, Ashur is known as the land of the Chaldea, then Babylon. It is in subsequent places in the Bible, it came to be known as Assyria, later becoming Syria. So the Syria that we hear about, that's always in conflict, etc., that's the Syria. Today it is known as Iraq, with portions of it still recognized as Syria. So Iraq and Syria. We hear about Iraq all the time, we hear about Syria all the time. That's why it's important that we look at the historical context. So, because to understand, it's hard to understand where the Caribbean is unless you can locate it on a map. So that is why we're making sure that we understand the various places that as we read the Bible, where we are. This land would come to be inhabited by Black people, brown people, white people, etc. Okay, it's various places, but many do maintain that it is in Africa. So we can trace that name. Okay, all right. I just wanted to say to you that it's very important that we understand as we, and this is the book, this is one of our textbooks, that we understand the context in which the various stories in the Bible are written. Why? Because so many of our young people are saying that it's a fairy tale, saying that it's not true, saying that it's a myth. What if when we teach them, we start in the beginning, in Genesis, that we are here, that's in East Africa. And as we move to the Middle East, and as we move and we deal with the Romans, we deal with the Greeks, etc., it comes to life for them. It becomes real. So many of our children are turning to be agnostics, or to be atheists, because we as the parents have not shown them that the Bible is real. It's not just something that we come out on Sunday morning and jump up and down and fall out about, but it's actually real story. It's not just an emotional reaction, but it actually happened. And that's what we need to ensure that we give our children. This is about children now. This is about family, that we give our children the proper context of the Bible, where it began in Genesis. It went to other land masses, but the land mass that is spoken about, most of all the land masses from the beginning up until the end, is Africa. And then there are other places that are included, Iraq, Syria, Rome, Greece, etc. But it started in Africa, and all we're doing is giving those facts. Can you imagine Martin Luther King and the other great leaders started along their ministry? Other people said, they're radical, they're out on the limb, etc. And now we just talk as if it's, oh, that's normal. Oh yeah, I'm just going to go to my job. Yes, I'm just going to go into this building, not realizing that years ago when others made that their cause, they were persecuted for it. It was not looked upon as a fact. It was looked upon as if you must be crazy. So let's normalize the truth, guys. Let's not make the truth be looked upon as something that's radical. Let the truth be the truth, and the truth will set you free. Here at GODSU, we believe in one race, which is human, the human race. We have more in common than we have apart. As Dr. Willis says, we have 99% of some of the same genes as a potato, okay? So as human beings, we have more that we're alike than we are apart. So one race human, in one place earth, with one embrace, which is love. So we love everyone here, and we say everything that we give in peace and in love and in truth. I am the Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks. I am the Chancellor here at Global Oved Seminary University, the Provost at Global Bible Institute, the National President of the UN NGO NFFI Jamaica. I am under the auspices of the Honorable Her Excellency Queen Mother Dr. Dolores Blakely, who's been in the UN for 50 years. And I'm also, as you can see here, a multi-state financial service advisor with Envita Financial Network. We are the GODSUccess Teach and Pray, and we are God's marketplace ministers. I would like my co-host to take this thing away. Thank you.
1 John 4, verses 1 to 4 read, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesses not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of the Antichrist. So today, we've got to try the spirit by the spirit. As you heard already, don't believe everything you say. Read the word for yourself and ask God for confirmation, and He will share that with you. I am Reverend Dr. Anne Marie, a chaplain, Anne Marie Wilkinson, a chaplain, minister, and assistant dean at Global Oved Seminary and University. I also own a business, Shop Fashion Focus, where you can shop for women's apparel and accessories. Thank you.
Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 talks about the sons of Ham. They were Cush, Egypt, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. And Cush became the father of Nimrod, who was the first to be a mighty man on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Calneh in the land of Shinar, or in Babylonia. Out of the land, he, Nimrod, went forth into Assyria and built Nineveh. Now, the sons of Ham, as mentioned, also included Cush, which Chancellor mentioned as being Egypt, and these are Black people. And so just wanted to point that out to our listeners that because of, as the Chancellor mentioned, there's no research done on our part, and we rely heavily on our pastors, we miss a lot that's going on. And certain myths have come down to kind of slow us down in our moving along. One of the myths is that the Caucasians were the original people on the earth. And of course, we really like to use the term non-melanin folks. And there are several myths, but I wanted to point that out, and I also wanted to point out the fact that the myth that says that ancient Africa contributes nothing to civilization is dead wrong, and that ancient Egyptians were Caucasians. That's another myth. And another myth says that the Egyptians built the pyramids. Another says the Africans were savages when Europeans saved them. And there's this whole thing about Columbus discovered America. Don't have time to get into that. I'll share that with you tomorrow. But he never saw America. This is Dr. Leo Pickett, chaplain and assistant Dean of Music for Global Oved Day, Seminary University, and founder of LP Community Foundation, serving seniors through music therapy and health and nutrition. Thank you.
In Genesis chapter 2, God refers to his creation. Obviously, we could never reach the level of the Creator and create something out of nothing. But today, I am reminded that everything is from God, who created the world with forethought and preparation. Everything God created was for a specific purpose. I've learned to look forward and continue in life and not continue to keep glancing backwards and focusing on what happened and why it happened. I learned from my past, and I look forward towards the future, towards what God has planned for my life. Since we are his children, we are his heirs. In fact, together with Christ, we are heirs of God's glory. Romans 8:29-30 says, "For God knew his people in advance. He chose them to become like his son, so that his son would be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. And having chosen them, he gave them to come to him. And having called them, he gave them right standing with himself." I am Dr. Cecilia Smith. Thank you. Understanding of the small child, that I am made in the image of God, really helped to shape and focus and helped me to really understand how special I am. I remember one of my Sunday school teachers pointing out in Genesis 1, verses 27, she read, "So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him, male and female, he created them." Then in that same chapter, Genesis 1, verse 31, she pointed out, "And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was good." And I remember she came around with a mirror and asked all of us to look into the mirror. And she said, "What do you see?" And I remember she said, "I see me." And she said, "And what else do you see?" And I started describing my hair and my eyes and my nose. And then she said, "And what else do you see?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. What am I missing?" And she said, "I want you to make sure that you always see that you are good and that you were made in the image of God, and that makes you special. So regardless of what your hair looks like, it looks good, because people will try to discredit you because of what you look like, and you don't look like them. So that, as in learning that lesson early on in my childhood, has really helped me to focus on why I am different. And because of that, that makes me special. And that is something that I am choosing to pass on to many that I meet. Believe it or not, even in my workplace, because I am a workplace minister, working with people addicted to drugs and alcohol, I find myself holding up the mirror one day in one of my classes, helping them to see that even though they are in the predicament and the situation they're in, that does not take away from the fact that God made them too. I'm special. You are too, my brother and my sister, because we are all made in the image of God. I am Reverend Dr. Vicki Stokes, and I'm Assistant Dean and Chaplain here at Global Oved Seminary University. And I'm also the founder of Sister to Sister Gathering. It is a discipleship and coaching ministry for women. Thank you.
When Adam and Eve ate from the tree of good and evil, they were able to discern the good and evil in the world. The nature of sin, strife, separation, and division was introduced into the world. However, we're better together. All believers have unique gifts, passions, and abilities to share with others. And when we join together in unity and love, a fully functional spiritual family is formed. God builds the body of Christ with uniquely gifted believers. He builds the family through the strength of each member. Rather than resenting what sets us apart, let's celebrate each other's differences and the fact that we are all God's creation. Ask Him to reveal His plan for serving Him and each other. We have to love and depend on each other every day. These were amended words from Rob and Joanne Teeger. We can make a decision to change our lives, or we can make excuses, but we cannot do both. Words by Grace Welling. And if we become more accountable to God, we will become more responsible people. In the words of Bishop David Oyedepo, everything we will ever become is a function of the discoveries that we've made. And over the past 2 weeks, we have made some amazing discoveries about African descendants in the Bible. This Sunday, as a family, my family celebrated our history by having a soul food dinner at my sister's house and a discussion on the great contribution that our ancestors made to society. The amazement on my nieces, nephews, and sons' face was awesome. That dinner was amazing, and this topic is amazing. This is Minister Alicia Moses Armstrong, Chaplain of Global Oved Seminary and University, founder and CEO of Agape Love, Treasure, and Gift, where we share faith, hope, and love to others through the use of books, inspiration, and gift art. Thank you.
What a powerful teaching from Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks to all the co-hosts. I am definitely going to put a pin in this one and go back and listen to it. Everybody's contribution was wonderful. And I love the fact that we have elevated ourselves through the past, through the knowledge, and through the Holy Spirit to see people as people, see human spirits, because the outer part of us is just, it's the most inferior, you know, it's the spirit that's the highest, it's our mind, and then our body. And the body, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate, but we predict or we make thoughts or we make assumptions in 20 or 30 seconds of meeting each other. And that's quite unfortunate. And I'll give you a case in point. One of the things, and this is one of the reasons why Dr. Diane and everyone is contributing to the powerful history of who we are. And I never will forget this. There was a gentleman they were interviewing in Chicago when Obama won the election. Do you know that gentleman was about 20 years old? And with tears in his eyes, he said, "I'm pulling my pants up from now on. Obama is the president." Imagine. He knew that wearing his pants below the waist was a bad thing. And he felt he could just think that way of himself until Obama got elected. I also want to share in our neighborhood, you know, back in the day, we all knew our neighbors. Her Grace, come to me, shake my hand. Oh, no, they don't know my name, but they were just so proud to say, you know, I voted for Obama. You know, and so what am I saying? I'm saying that, you know, it's unfortunate that most people, unfortunately, don't see beyond the odds. You know, they don't feel good about their history. They don't feel good about other people. And if we love ourselves like we love, you ask most kids under 5, black and white doll, or brown, black, and white doll, which one is the smartest? Which one is the prettiest? Even black and white and people of color. They've done these tests. It's not me making this up. They have a poor self-image of the person of color and a very strong image of the person, you know, that is white or European. So that's the point that I want to make, is that that's why it's important that we teach our history. And with that being said, I am Dr. Willis Eubanks, proud Vice Chancellor of Global Oved Seminary and University, and also CEO of Global Alliance Technical Services Incorporated, where we help people get their financial house in order, as well as we teach IT certification. And I'll be remiss if I didn't say that I started my day yesterday. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I started my day with family, with my lovely bride. We walked for charity, 5K. It's beautiful weather. It was wonderful walking with her, and it was very cold. She said that she wouldn't even do it for herself. So thank you for the sacrifice, Dr. Diane. It was for a worthy cause. And also ending it with family. We watched a movie together. We conversation. They gave me cards, each of them, and I read them out loud. And, you know, that to me, that just made my day. So thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. And here's the chance for some final comments.
Thank you so much. Again, a wonderful day, and I hope that what we're doing here is with you, that Black History doesn't end in February. It's an everyday thing. So want to make sure that we not only celebrate Black History, we celebrate all of the multicultural people in our world, because without everyone, we would not be where we are. So we celebrate great, honorable, peaceful, kind tomorrow, 7:40 to 8:05. We are the GODSUccess Teach and Pray, and we are its marketplace ministers. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.